Long time no see. I'm going to show you guys a little day in the life of what I eat, day in the life of eating, day in the life of eating food. What I'm going to eat is what I'm going to show you. So this is typically what I eat every single day, usually 6 days a week. I'm going to show you what I eat. So here's me showing you guys what I eat. Just be normal. Come on, you got this. All right, so first and foremost, as you guys, I don't know, you guys probably don't fucking know, I eat in a deficit for the first 5 to 6 days of every single week. Okay, so I'm eating at around 5 to 1,000 calories in terms of a deficit. So 500 to 1,000 calorie deficit, usually Monday through Saturday. Not always Saturday. Sometimes I might enjoy myself, indulge a little bit if I need it or if I feel like it. But Monday through Saturday is always in a pretty tight deficit. Why do I do this? It keeps me lean. It also helps with building muscle and limiting body fat gain. So if you guys have been paying attention to what I've been doing, I've been staying lean. People are like, Dawson, why aren't you doing a mass phase? When are you gonna do a bulk? I no longer do bulks anymore. I no longer do traditional extreme mass phases where I'm just eating in a surplus every single day. So what I've done now, which is a little bit chaotic, but very simple, and has actually helped me put on a good amount of muscle while very little body fat. So essentially the first 6 days, deficit. Sunday, I indulge and I eat the foods, tasty foods that I love and crave. Whether that is pizza, whether that is ice cream, whether that is donuts, whether that is sushi, or whether that is eggs and hash browns. It's whatever I want to eat for those 2 to 3 meals during the day. And snacking, of course, I could snack cereal, it doesn't matter. Sometimes I'll start this Saturday night, go all the way to Sunday. So technically it is what you would call a cheat day, but I don't see it as a cheat day necessarily because it's only benefiting me in the long run. So as you guys remember, I hit my all-time lowest. I hit 223 pounds, around 6 to 7% body fat. I am now 8%, around 8 to 9, probably 8, 233 pounds. And my weight fluctuates up and down. So usually Saturday, I'll be at my lowest. Monday, I'll be at my heaviest. It is now Wednesday. I'm kind of in between, 233. That's a bit lighter than what I was last week. I was probably around 236, 235 on a Wednesday. So over time, my all-time low is 223. And now my normal low is around 230 every single week. So I am slowly building muscle while putting very minimal body fat gain on over the weeks, while also not being very strict or extreme with how I eat. Like I'm not being very strict 7 days out of the week, eating only clean foods in high quantities. I don't like doing that. Okay. I like enjoying my life. The clean food, I would rather eat less of, low fat, high protein, moderate carbs. I'm going to show you guys that today. So first, my first meal, usually what I'll do is cream of rice right here. I'll do this Elevate cream of rice. Here are the macros, if you guys could see that. So essentially I'm getting 52 grams of carbs, 2 grams of fat doing this. I'll do 2 scoops of this, and then I'll do 2 scoops of protein powder. This is typically what I'll eat. It is 10 a.m. That's what my first meal would typically be this, unless it's a Monday or Tuesday and I'm really full from my Sunday refeed, cheat meal, cheat day, whatever. Then I might just go straight into, my lean protein sources. And so I'm going to talk to you guys more about this as the video goes on. But essentially, if you guys have seen the physique, I've been lean, I've stayed shredded, and I've put on muscle mass, and I'm still putting on muscle mass every single week. And in order for most people to be able to do this effectively, yes, you're going to have to be on steroids. Yes, you're going to have to be on a good dose of steroids. And yes, you're going to have to be on other things that help facilitate fat loss. And you also have to know your body very well, be confident, and put long-term gains and progress and consistency over short-term scale weight or short-term fast results. So you have to be very patient and very confident in yourself, which is what I am. I'm patient, I'm confident, I'm knowing that what I'm doing, judging by how consistent I am, works, okay? Week by week, looking at the scale, looking at the physique, it changes, and it's improving. So I don't track anything. I don't track calories. I don't think you need to track calories. I think that's it's not dumb. I don't want to say dumb, but unless you're doing a very strict bodybuilding prep and you need to be on point the last, 6 weeks, I don't see a point in doing it. You're wasting your mental energy. You could be putting your energy towards other things in life, which is what I like to do. So I have a brief outline of how much I'm eating every day through the meals I'm eating every day, which are always usually the same. Okay. I know how much protein I'm getting because I look at what I'm eating. It says how much protein. I know how much calories I'm getting because I know how much calories is in a pound of ground turkey per meal. It says it on, the back, how much calories per serving. There's first 4 servings. Okay. That's 480 calories in a pound of 99.1 ground turkey. There's 190 calories in a half cup of gluten-free pasta. So I've been eating the same meals for so long that I don't have to think about it. It's pretty much just comes naturally. I know that I'm going to be in a pretty steep deficit eating this way. And I also notice that judging by how I feel and look day to day, either by the scale or how I look in the mirror or how I'm training in the gym, if I need a little bit more carbs, since my protein's always around 300 grams, I'm always eating around 300 grams of protein, and I have a good idea of where my carbs are sitting at each day, around 250 to 350, 300 maybe, sometimes 350, usually it's around 250 to 350, and my fats are always kept rather minimal, although in a healthy range. So it keeps everything simple. And I found over time that this has made me enjoy what I do, okay? This is kind of long. I know I'm kind of going on a tangent, but this is the best way for me just to kind of just tell you guys what I'm doing, because you guys always ask, am I bulking? Are you cutting? Technically, I'm not cutting, and I'm also not bulking. What I'm doing is a strategic lean mass phase recomposition, okay? So every Sunday, I have refeeds, Saturday, Sunday, usually it's Sunday, that essentially, if I eat 4,000 to 6,000 calories on a Sunday or on a weekend over my maintenance, so if I'm eating, let's say Sunday I eat 10,000 calories. Since what I do through Monday through Saturday is very strict, not super strict, but it's strict enough and it's on point, fat loss is being facilitated throughout the week, that even if I eat 10,000 calories on Sunday, fat gain will be very, very minimal or even non-existent because I've been lean. I'm eating a low fat diet throughout the week. Insulin sensitivity is out the roof. Hormones are out the roof. Okay. I am a bodybuilding lean muscle mass machine. Okay. 1500 test, 600 milligrams of primobolan, 6 IUs of growth hormone daily, 4 IUs of Humalog, pre-workout with pre-workout carbs, intra-workout carbs. All right, fat kept low, kept to a minimum throughout those Monday through Saturday. Everything is working correctly. So even if I went crazy, which sometimes I can't even eat that much. I fucking eat so much that I can't fit any more fucking food in my stomach on a Saturday. I'm eating for taste. I'm not eating to be full. Fat gain, even if it does happen, is so low that it doesn't matter. If I gain 7 to 9 pounds in a day or two, that is mainly water retention, glycogen, and food sitting inside of my stomach. Okay, So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, tell you guys the method to my madness, which is actually very, very simple and very, very effective. I'm surprised most bodybuilders don't do this because blood work is still very, very good. Day-to-day life's a lot more enjoyable, and I don't have to eat boring as fuck foods every single day for the rest of my fucking life, which fucking sounds terrible. I would never want to do that. So this is how I do it to keep my sanity in check, being lean, pretty much year round. You know, I can maintain this all year. I can maintain single digits all year. This is how I do it. Okay. It might not work for everyone, but it works for me. But yeah, and also the refeeds on the Sundays. I keep going back to this because this is not a refeed. This is just what I normally eat every single day, regardless of that Sunday or Saturday night and Sunday. They serve a purpose for muscle growth, for daily energy, for glycogen, keeping my muscles full, okay? Keeping me in an anabolic state, giving me energy to train, giving my muscles energy, nutrients to train, to be pumped, to be full, to be vascular. That's why when you guys see me, I'm always full. I'm vascular, I'm lean, I'm hard, I'm not flat, I'm not suffering, okay? Usually I'm not. And if I am suffering or training is going down, I make adjustments. And if I hit a lighter weight than what I wanted, or I hit a new low weight, okay, that means I am now losing more body fat. Or if I hit a higher weight, okay, that means I'm building muscle, as long as it's not too far from the norm, the median. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how I make this, how it comes out, and this will be my first meal. Okay, so I have my Snickerdoodle protein shake, 50 grams, simple. And I have my cream of rice, my Elevate peanut butter cream of rice. It's very good. I don't have a code, I just like it. So if you guys want a good cream of rice brand that's tasty, Elevate is a solid brand for that. That's usually the first meal, not always, but this, I typically have to throw the carbs in there. I'm doing a lower fat diet. I'm very lean. I deplete glycogen very quickly, even after that big 6,000 to 8,000 calories, 9, maybe 10,000 calories over maintenance weekend. By Wednesday, I'm typically starting to get flat. Tuesday, Wednesday, glycogen is already starting to get depleted. Strength, performance, endurance, energy starts to go down. Okay, and we want to have a good amount of glycogen in our body. We don't want to be flat. That is how you lose muscle. That is how you have shitty workouts. And ultimately, that's how you don't look as good. Okay, so you want a good amount of glycogen in there. You don't want too much, nothing crazy throughout the week. You just want to make sure you're having enough carbs to fuel your performance. You know, if you want to do things effectively, okay? If you like to do low carb, it works for you, that's great. But this is what I found works best for me, since my body goes through carbs extremely fast. And there's no need for me to eat a higher fat diet. It's kind of a waste of time. You know, it's not really doing a whole lot for performance or how you look in the gym or energy levels besides long-term energy. So there's another saying that it is harder to get lean than to stay lean. And this is very true. In my case, and in everyone else's case, I am able to do this since I've been single digit body fat for 5, 6, 4, who knows, almost half a year. And eventually your body hits a metabolic set point where this is your body's new normal. Let's say you started at 10% or 15% and you quickly got down to 8. Right then, that's not your metabolic set point. The longer you stay at that single digit, that 8 to 9, 8, and don't jump quickly back up, the easier it is to maintain. And once you're able to maintain that, once you hit that metabolic set point of that 8 to 9, single digit leaner body fat percentage, whatever it is, it might be 10. especially when you're leaner, 8 to 9%, your body does not put on fat as easily compared to others. Your body favors muscle gain. Okay, as long as you're eating correctly, you're not going overboard throughout the week to where you're gaining a bunch of weight and you're always in a consistent surplus every single day. So my body favors muscle gain, and using those nutrients I eat on that weekend, on that refeed cheat day, for muscle growth, for glycogen, for energy, okay, for repairing my body, for repairing my muscles, versus let's store it as fat. So my body has a stronger need for utilizing those nutrients. I'm in a very high insulin sensitive environment, very anabolic environment, versus storing fat. The leaner you are, the less fat reserves you have, the less fat you could store in a short amount of time, as long as you aren't going overboard. Remember that. You need to be consistent. So that is what I wanted to talk about quickly, and is why I could do this and stay lean. And of course, the PEDs, the testosterone, the metformin, the retatrutide, the T4, the primobolan, all that helps as well. All right, so for my second meal, we're going to be doing some 100% grass-fed bison, force of nature. This is my favorite protein source right here, besides ground turkey or fish, raw fish, but you know, we can't eat that all the time. And then I also have some gluten-free pasta. I do a half a cup of this, and then I do this whole 12 ounces of ground bison right here. So it takes really fast to cook. Cook it in a pan, use some cooking spray, 0-calorie cooking spray. Takes like 8 minutes. Boil some water, put it in there. Use some spices. I like to use basil, parsley, and chives, which is similar to onions, but not onions, since that tends to give me issues. And of course, no sugar ketchup. That's what I like to use as well. I pretty much eat ketchup on everything. It's just, you know, it's tasty. It works. So, yeah, I'm going to get into cooking that. And I just wanted to also say that, you know, the way I do things regarding my diet and, you know, eating clean for 5 or 6 days and then having a refeed cheat day, that might not work for everyone. Like if you're already not very lean, if you're not enhanced, it might not work for you. You know, so I'm not necessarily recommending that you guys do this. I mean, you could try, you can give it a shot and see how it goes if you're already, you know, in a good environment to do so. But this is kind of what I just started doing naturally. It's not something I've planned or, okay, I'm going to put on muscle, this is how I'm going to do it. It's just, I noticed over time, just kind of maintaining, in my mind, I was maintaining and enjoying the foods I liked while also staying lean. I ended up putting muscle on. And the more I looked into it and thought about it, the more it made sense, you know, that I'm technically in a recomp lean, very lean mass phase right now. So I'm going to cook this and get it ready, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, so right here we have the ground bison. We have some basil, parsley, and chives. And you know, parsley, I don't know if you guys know, but it acts as a mild diuretic. Not only is it good for you, you know, to eat, these spices are good for you. You know, they have benefits. But added benefit of parsley is that it acts as a mild diuretic. So it can help flush out a little extra water retention. And then I got my gluten-free pasta, about 8 minutes. This takes about 7 to 8 minutes. I do the gluten-free because no digestion issues. When I was doing the normal pasta, wheat, or whatever it's made out of, I was getting a lot of digestion issues. And you know, with the bison, it comes in a square. You just drop it in there, and I like to Cook it for about 30 to 40 seconds, maybe a minute without touching it, and then I flip it over and I start breaking it up because it's softer when it's not cooked long. So don't just plop it in there and just cook it for 2 to 3 minutes. I like the, 30 to 40, 50 seconds, maybe a minute, and then flip it over and start breaking it up. And the thinner you break it up, the better. And the more you kind of keep moving it around and breaking it up, the better. I'm not doing that now. I'm showing you guys this, but yeah, so that's what it looks like when I'm cooking it. All right, here we go. So this is the finished product. Ground bison, basil, parsley, chives, a little bit of pepper, ketchup, no sugar ketchup, and then I'll put some more on the noodles and mix it up. And if you don't want to do ketchup, you could always do like a marinara, low-calorie marinara sauce, but to be honest, it's typically the same thing. They're both tomato-based. And to top it off, of course, A&W tastes exactly the same. Yeah, this is my second meal. Close to probably 90 grams of protein, 24 grams of fat, 48, probably 42, somewhere, 40 something grams of carbs. So this is meal 2. All right, so I just finished up that second meal. And usually after the second meal, I might have some fruit. Typically that's gonna be raspberries, strawberries, or a banana. So that's kind of the rotation of fruit that I'll have. And I'll also might have a Fiber One bar or something like that. But usually after that second meal, that's it. I'm not eating anymore. Usually I go to the gym a few hours later. So right now it's almost 2:30 and I'm gonna wait about another hour and a half, and then I will get ready to go to the gym. And right now I've been playing a lot of Clair Obscure 33, Expedition 33. You guys might have heard of it. Solid game. I'm only about a few hours in so far, but the dodging and the parrying is really challenging, but really fun and really rewarding once you actually time it right and defeat a boss. So if you haven't played that game or you're looking into a new game, I highly recommend it. Amazing story as well. And I tried to get into Oblivion a little bit coming from Skyrim. I really loved playing Skyrim when I was younger. And I played a little bit of Oblivion when I was younger, maybe like the first few hours, like in 2010 when I was 10 years old. But I tried getting back into it and I really couldn't. It's just a little too slow. It reminds me a little bit of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which I'm not really a big fan of. It's just a little too slow for me. It's a good game, but too slow. So yeah, we're doing that. Yeah, typically the rest of this next hour is just gonna be playing some video games, waiting, and then getting into my pre and intra workout for the gym, because that can make or break my training session completely. So I will show you guys that next. All right, so I took my 2 scoops of pre-workout, and that was Woke AF. This is a pretty solid one. I think I talked about this the last video. No, I'm not too sure. But this is the one I'm currently taking. I did 1 scoop of this actually, which is 1 serving. How much caffeine is that? 330 grams of caffeine. Now I feel a lot more energetic, a lot more ready to go. Now we got the make or break for this workout. And that's going to be, if you've been watching me, you already know what I'm going to say. If you've seen me at the gym, at my home gym, you know what I'm always carrying in my hand. You always know what I'm sipping on, okay? Throughout the workouts. And that's going to be Carbolin. Watermelon wave with a little bit of electrolytes. Amazing. This stuff tastes amazing. EFX Sports Brand. No codes, no sponsorships. It's on Amazon. Tastes really fucking good. 110 calories per scoop. 27 grams of carbs per scoop. I do 4 scoops in total. I do 2 before the gym. With 4, I use a Humalog. If you know what that is, you know what that is. If you don't, too fucking bad. And then I do another about 15, 20 minutes later in the gym, 2 more scoops intra-workout that last me about an hour to 2 hours in between my sets. I sip on it at the gym. So, keeps me full, keeps me vascular, gives me a lot of energy, pumps, keeps me pumped up in the gym. Essentially just gets a constant supply of carbs, of glucose to my muscles the entire workout. It spikes at insulin. And we all know that spiking insulin, it's anabolic. It's going to help with keeping your muscle. It's going to help with your muscle performance, your strength, your muscle endurance. So yeah, this is religious for me. I'm always taking this every single day, 6 days a week, cut or bulk, it doesn't matter, 100 grams of carbs nonetheless. It's a little bit more, but always 4 scoops in total. But there's also one more thing I have to take if I want to make sure the workout goes as planned. And this can also make or break the training as well, especially since I'm leaner and I'm taking a compound known as retatrutide. And when you're leaner, you don't hold as much water. Sodium gets flushed out of your body easier. You're on something like a GLP-1, or GLP-3, retatrutide, triple G. Your sodium, mainly sodium, not potassium. I already get enough of that through all the meat I eat. There's 700 milligrams of potassium in a pound of ground turkey. Okay, and I'm probably getting 2,000, 1,800 milligrams of potassium just on the meat alone. All right. So this next one is going to be a sodium supplement. And when people say you want to supplement electrolytes, usually they're referring to sodium and maybe magnesium. Most of the time, people, if you're eating enough protein and you're eating enough fruits like bananas, you will have enough potassium in your body. Okay? If you're not eating a lot of protein, you're not eating a lot of fruit, then supplementing with potassium can help. I'm not a fan of supplementing with potassium. It's really easy to overdo, and when you overdo it, it sucks. You don't feel strong, you feel flat, and you just, workouts go to shit. So this is what I use. Got this on Amazon. Relight, cran apple. I take this before the gym. So after I take my pre-workout carbs, I'm going to do 1 scoop of this, which is 810 milligrams of sodium. Got some chloride in there, a little bit of potassium, a little bit of magnesium, and some calcium. 5 calories. Okay. So this guarantees I'm going to have a great workout. Sometimes I can get away with this if it's earlier in the week and I already did my cheat or my refeed, like on a Sunday, and it's Monday, Tuesday, I might get away with it. But once I start kind of flattening out or my glycogen starts lowering a bit, I'm not holding as much water. This is a must, because if I just do the carbs with no sodium, the training performance isn't going to be there, at least to what it could be. So this helps a lot, especially with pumps. Many people think sodium is the enemy. They think, oh, sodium, salt, that's the enemy. Not true. Especially if you're eating very clean, it's actually smart to supplement with sodium, especially around your workouts. So this is really important. The most important electrolyte in terms of pumps and muscular endurance and performance. I don't use potassium supplements. Again, like I said, there's just too much that can go wrong there, and you should be getting enough potassium through your diet. So, yeah, Now I'm going to get ready. Today is going to be a chest day. So my split right now is legs on Monday, which is, quads, which is hamstrings, quads, calves, and adductors, and abs in that order. And then Tuesday's back, biceps, rear delts in that order. And Wednesday is going to be chest, triceps, and side delts in that order. So rather high volume, not as crazy as what I used to be when I was like 20 or natural, doing 30 sets per body part, per bigger body part. I used to do that when I was natural and enhanced. I don't really count anymore. I typically just do 3 to 4 sets per exercise. Go by how you feel. I go by how I feel. But you should also be going by how you feel. And always make sure, no matter what, make sure you're having fun when you go to the gym. Make sure you enjoy what you do. You don't want to go there and drag ass, like, this sucks. Oh man, I got to do this exercise again, even though it's the best exercise. I don't like doing it. I got to do it. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do barbell squats if you don't like them. You don't have to do deadlifts if you don't like them. You don't have to do barbell rows if you don't like them. Okay? Make it enjoyable. Look forward to it every day, or however many days you train. I train 6 days a week, sometimes 7 if I can, usually 6 days. Enjoy what you're doing and work your ass off and have fun. This doesn't have to be so extreme. Look at me. Am I extreme? No, I don't go till failure. Most of the time, I'm not super strict with my training. Most of the time I don't even count how many reps I'm doing on my lifts. I just do it, and I've been doing it for so long, it comes natural to me. It's not something I have to think much about. And the less you have to think about it, the less mental energy you have to expand into doing this, the better your results are going to be long term. Remember that. It's about the long term, not the short term. All right, guys. Off to the workout now, and then after that, I will be showing you guys meal number 3, my post-workout meal, and my last meal of the day. All right, so I just finished up with my chest, triceps, and side delts. Really intense workout, really gave it my all. Probably lasted close to 2 hours. High volume, you guys know the drill. All right, so we are going for my third and last meal of the day, and we're going to start off with 99.1. It says 99.1 there. 99.1 ground turkey, 120 calories per serving, 1 gram of fat, 28 grams of protein. I believe this might be the highest form of protein meat to fat ratio you could find. Maybe chicken might be a little bit better, chicken tenderloin. And then we got a half cup of gluten-free pasta, and then we got some low calorie, it's now, it doesn't want to show, low calorie marinara sauce, and of course some more ketchup. And I know at first you're probably thinking that's a weird combo. That doesn't sound like it tastes good. They're both tomato based. Okay. I like ketchup. It's tasty. It adds, and if you ever use 99.1 turkey, it's kind of dry, especially if you're not using any fats, which I'm not using. I'm just using cooking spray. This adds a lot more moisture to the ground turkey. Those two combined, but you could just use tomato sauce if you like. That gets the job done. And of course, the same seasonings: parsley, basil, and chives, which none of those mess with my digestion. None of those make me feel tired. Stuff like paprika makes me feel really tired. Garlic powder, onion powder, that makes me feel over time really gassy and really messes up with my digestion pretty terribly. So I have to limit those. Chives doesn't do that. And then we got some pepper on the pasta when I'm done to add a little bit more flavor. So I'm gonna cook that up really quick, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So very similar to last time. Okay, we got pasta, half cup, no sugar ketchup, low calorie marinara sauce, and of course, no sugar A&W. That is very helpful while eating very clean and on the lower calorie end. Those, if you're not drinking that, I recommend, if you haven't tried a zero sugar soda or you don't like them, try A&W or ginger ale. I think it's cherry, or it's a red one. But yeah, it's very solid, and I can enjoy this. And I'm a picky eater. As you can see, I'm not a chef. I don't put a ton of effort into it. I like it to be quick and fast and get the job done. And I eat these same meals every single day, 5 to 6 days a week. Sometimes I might do fish, a low fat, low calorie fish. Some other times I might try something else, maybe 96 foreground chicken. But this is pretty much it. I eat these same meals 95% of the time, 6 days a week, and it gets the job done. All right, so that pretty much sums up the diet, what I do to stay shredded, stay lean, add a little bit of muscle mass, and put on minimal body fat. And this isn't advice for other people to follow or replicate. This is just how I do things. Of course, what I do isn't necessarily healthy, PD wise and everything to be included, but it works for me. It's what I enjoy, and it's how I prefer to progress. And I notice a lot of bodybuilders, at least pro bodybuilders, they tend to just stick to the same meals, the same foods, and it's very routine. It's always the same, and it's kind of bland. And that's not something I want to do, at least not all the time. I think balance and having a little bit of variety, especially with foods you love, foods that are not considered bodybuilding foods or necessarily health conscious foods, is good. And at the end of the day, whether it's training, whether it's eating, what matters is you're enjoying it, you're loving what you do, and you're consistent. I've been training in the gym, bodybuilding, for 8 years now, since I was 17. And the best advice I can give you guys regarding all of this is to be consistent. And over time, big things will happen if you're consistent and you love what you do and you keep that love for your training and your bodybuilding and you turn it into a lifestyle. I'm not aggressive or extreme with what I do, at least regards to how I eat and build muscle or drop body fat. Most guys either full on bulk, full on cut for a show. That's it. It's one or the other. It's results now, scale weight now, and I don't prefer doing it that way. I much prefer doing it this way, and it requires a little bit more patience, but it works even if it wasn't necessarily my plan to do. It's kind of just what I've came to do. So yeah, that's about it, guys. In regards with what I'm eating, I know there's not a lot of vegetables, but I do recommend you guys eat vegetables. It's very easy. Just go to your store, buy some frozen vegetables. They're just as healthy as any other vegetables. And you can literally just throw them into those meals I just made. Just throw them in there first. Use a sauce or season them up, cook them up a little bit, throw your meat in there, mix it around, bam, good to go. And that's something I need to work on. So I just recommend that you guys do it. It's a part of a healthy diet, and I eat a good amount of fruit, 3 to 5 servings, but I also understand that it's not an alternative for vegetables and what they can do for you. They're low calorie, they're filling, so that's something I need to improve on as well. Yeah, other than that, guys, that's about it. Thank you guys for tuning in, watching the video. Comment. I'll leave a comment what you'd like to see, what you thought of the video, what else kind of videos you'd like to see. But nonetheless, just remember to enjoy what you do training, whatever it is in life. If you don't enjoy it, or it's not as enjoyable as it could be, find a way. And I'm telling you, it will all become that much easier. Your success will be that much greater. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Until next time.